Hello everyone and welcome to the fifth and final video in the Macaloney series. Today we have the Siol Dugall, that's for camera 1 and that's for camera 2. 27 ppm peated Canadian whiskey. We don't know if this is the pre or the post distillation peat. I'm going to assume it's the pre-distillation peat, and this is matured in ex-American oak or ex-bourbon casks, virgin oak and some STR wine casks as well. So a little bit more experimental, nice light colour to it. 46% again with no filtering and no chill filtration. And I must say I've been nosing this for about 10 to 15 minutes just while I recharge these cameras, and the key thing from it is this beautiful, very similar noses to things like Kilkerran, Lagavulin and Kalila. Now those are three quite different peated whiskies, I can appreciate that, but they always for me have this like by the beach oyster shell, big kind of wild salty sea breeze notes about them. Different peated whiskies can have that too with different batches and variations, but for me this is just so fresh with lemon and salt and kind of being battered by a sea breeze on a particularly intense day on the beach. And then the nose on that is again still full of all of those profiles. It's oyster shell and wet rocks. It's that kind of peated whiskey that it's nowhere near that medicinal Laphroaig Ardbeg sort of thing, although Ardbeg can reach into this territory too, but it is just gentle and lemony and sweet and salty. I don't pick up much of the Portuguese wine casks on the smell. We'll yet to see if that turns out on the taste. But it's certainly this big, creamy, lemony, lemon zest, salt-driven, coastal, sandy kind of whiskey. Which I must say I love. You know, we've tried some really, really nice whiskies in this range, but I must say, as a peated whiskey fan, this one is by far my favourite. If you gave me this at a tasting and didn't tell me what it was, I would be convinced this was from somewhere on the west coast of Scotland. Let's taste it. Okay. For me, honest, it really does remind me a lot of Lagavulin. It reminds me a lot of Lagavulin 8-year-old. And the smell of the few most recent Lagavulin 12 special releases, although it's not cash strength, that oyster shell, lemon, sea salt, kind of burnt herb, Mediterranean spices kind of thing. This is what washes all over my palate with this. I do feel like the STR casks are coming through a little bit. They seem to be getting a little bit more texturally. Like it's a little bit just more viscous and intense than what a typical ex-American oak cask and what a virgin oak cask would give to you. And the smoke, it stops being this kind of seashell salty thing, and it kind of compresses itself down a little bit to be more of this gently spicy, almost like pickled chili pepper, slightly sweet, slightly herbal, coriander and mustard seeds. There's kind of like pickling spices and peppercorns that kind of, they linger around at the end of like a bite of a pickle or a pickled chili pepper or something. And with the chili pepper thing, there is this note of almost jalapeno, habanero. There's like a very lingering kind of spice just at the back of my palate, which reminds me of like nice spicy chili profiles. Yeah, this isn't the smokiest, most peaty, most over-the-top smoky whiskey you can ever have, but I don't think it's designed to be that. It's designed to be something which is very approachable, kind of links in a little bit to this Scottish heritage style, which is what Macaloney's is all about, and Irish heritage style as well. Well-made spirit, well put together. This for me is as tasty as what was the other one we tried? The St. Mally, the single barrel from the STR Portuguese wine barrique. This is like a solid 8.5 for me. This is a deliciously gentle, smoky, almost summertime profile of whiskey. And I've been drinking a lot of mezcal at home in the last couple of years, but mostly in the last couple of months. And this really has like some pretty tasty, gentle mezcal notes to it. Albeit probably aged for a lot longer than a mezcal. Delicious. I'm going to give that a solid 8.5 out of 10. That is the, and I'm definitely pronouncing this wrong, the Siol Dugall. So for you folks who can get hold of this in Canada, I know Canadian distribution laws are a little bit archaic in certain states and across probably all of Canada. But if you can get a hold of this and you like peated whiskey, would highly recommend it. It's very, very good. But thank you all for watching this Canadian series. I must thank, in general, because his business card is in here, Kevin Blair. He's the UK distributor for Macaloney's, I believe, if we can get that to focus. It won't, doesn't matter. He works for a company called Barrel and Brand. Actually, he's the founder and director of Barrel and Brand. Apologies, Kevin. But yeah, I must thank you, Kevin. You got in touch with me on LinkedIn and you were kind enough to send this sample set through because I have very limited knowledge of Canadian whiskey. I genuinely believe that in Canada right now, it's probably the most exciting country for whiskey making in the world. Just in terms of the fun things that are being produced from a lot of small craft distillers, some probably better than others and some more well reviewed than others. But I honestly think with all of the political unease in the world right now, as someone who is from the UK, I would love the chance to get more Canadian whiskey into the UK. I am not an importer or an exporter yet, maybe. So, you know, the idea of working closely with Canada for whiskey and vice versa, I think is a really important thing right now. So, yes. So, thank you, Kevin. By all means, if you're in the UK, check out barrelandbrand.co.uk. You can probably find out more about Macaloney's and other things that they sell. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this series. It's been really fun to shoot, really fun to read up about, and if it is well received, we'll do more of them, mainly with other world spirits and other world whiskies if we can get our hands on them. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Have a good day.